Hey everybody, Resident Loser Jeremy here. I recently put out a question asking you guys what types of videos you would like to see. And one of you said you could do a day in the life of an engineer. I responded with, I could do a day in my life as an engineer, and you still wanted to see it. That intrigues me. And it also gives me a chance to do a video in the style of one of my favorite YouTubers, Ali Abdaal. If you don't know him, go check out his channel, it's fantastic. Has nothing to do with music, has nothing to do with engineering, it's just a darn good channel. So as it follows, my crazy productive day in my life as a recording engineer, producer, studio owner, etc. As it currently stands, my alarm goes off promptly at 7:15, where I wake to greet the day with bated breath. I promptly go to the restroom to do all of my restroom things before the small humans in the household wake up to ruin any plans that I may have had for the morning. Hopefully I've made it to the kitchen where I can prepare their breakfast before they wake up, because there's really no way to make breakfast for 3 people while there's 2, 4 and under running around the house. Somewhere in the chaos, I managed to get both of these heathens dressed, get their hair done, feed them, and get them in the car and on the way to drop the first one off at school at 9:15. Once the eldest has arrived at school, I take the smaller, more handsome version of myself to the babysitter for the day. I typically arrive at the studio at 9:45. If I don't have a session for that day, I'm making a YouTube video or 2 as soon as I get to the studio, pulling from my list of ideas that you guys have given me. On the particular day in question, I filmed for about an hour and a half at 10:30, where I took a coffee break. This marks coffee number 2 for the day. I take a small break in the lounge where I sip my coffee and respond to emails or texts that I need to catch up on. And at 10:45, I head back into the studio where I do some editing. As you'll see later, editing takes up most of my day. 10:45, I typically open up my editing to-do list. I see what all tracks need to get finished and prep for either mixing or mastering. And then finally, 11 to 12:15, I'm editing whatever tracks need to be edited. That could be vocal tuning, drum aligning, whatever the case may be. I'm editing those tracks so that they can be mixed and put into the queue. 12:30, I take my lunch, where I'm typically eating something that I prepared the night before at home. Leftovers from dinner, most likely. By the way, this is in no way sponsored. I just really like this app. Me and my wife have been using it for probably going on 3 or 4 years now. Mealime. Mealime. If you've never used Mealime, it's great for recipes and grocery lists and all the adulting things that tend to be food-centric in your life. It saves us a crazy amount of time. The recipes are delicious and kind of gets rid of the what are we going to eat tonight argument. Again, not sponsored. I just love it. 1 p.m. I do a mix consultation. These typically take about an hour if I'm doing a Skype session with someone and going over mix ideas, critiques, talking business, talking client relations, whatever that may be for the day. And this is a part of it that I've really loved doing. I've met some of you guys from all over the world. It's insane to me that I've gotten to meet so many of you, and I love it. And if you guys want to be a part of that, I have a link down there that if you want to work with me, you can click that link and fill out the contact form and we can set up a time to talk. 2 p.m. or before, depending on how long the mix consult went, I'm going to start actually mixing some songs. The trick is to get through between 3 to 4 mixes in a day. And these aren't 3 to 4 fresh mixes in a day. I want to touch 3 to 4 mixes in a day. If I'm starting from total scratch on a record and I haven't approached even 1 song yet, I will probably mix 1 song in this time slot. And this could be going over mix notes or going through my own second revision of something while I'm trying to figure out the sound of a record, or like I said, starting a mix from scratch. Also, if this is the end of a project or the end of a few projects, this is where I would do mastering work as well. It is less common because we're doing a lot of mixes before we ever get to that stage, so mastering is one of the fewer tasks that I do from a day-to-day standpoint because there are so many other iterations of other steps involved. I do that up until about 4 p.m. where I'm typically on the phone with clients, current or prospective, where I'm touching base with projects. I'm seeing what the client thought of the most recent mixes that I just sent out. I'm touching base with people who are coming up in the roster, getting ready to do either some tracking or mixing, making sure that all the files we need are organized and in order, things are ready so that I don't have to set back the calendar too far. I'm touching base with people who are coming in, making sure I understand exactly what I need to set up for their session session. I'm making sure that they've got their equipment ready to go. I know what's coming in the door so I can have mics ready and set up when they get here. This is the time where I'm getting organized for anything that happened in the future or touching base with people that I've done mixes with in the past. At 5 p.m., if I'm off the phone and everything's organized, this is typically the time that I reserve for doing any last minute changes. People have gotten their mixes at this point. I've touched base with them. Hey, you've got a mix. Let me know if there are any changes. If they don't need an extended amount of time to sit with it and they've already made the decision whether they like it or not, but there's just a few tweaks, this is the time where I'm going to make those tweaks, rebounce the song, and then send it to them. Sometimes this is a good, really productive couple of hours that I can spend and knock out entire projects with really quick turnarounds because people are typically off work by this point or musicians are awake by this point. We can get a lot done touching base on the phone, fixing a mix, bouncing, sending, going back and forth pretty quickly. And we can wrap a project very, very quickly in this amount of time. Depending how long I spent on those revisions, I will head to the gym. So you know those things you love to do but you're really not good at? For me, that's two things: golf and going to the gym. I really like to end the day going to the gym if I have time, and depending how long I spent mixing, I'm gonna head to the gym after that. I love to jog. I'm not very good at it, but it's a great way to clear your head, listen to some music that you just like to listen to for fun. After that, it's back to the house where I'm probably cooking dinner with the family, getting the kids, playing with the kids until it's time to get ready for bed, read stories, do bedtime. Once we put the kids down, me and my wife will typically stay up, play a game or two of chess. She wins until it's time for us to go down. I'll set the alarm for the next day and we repeat. Anyway, guys, I never thought I'd be making a day in my life as a recording studio owner, producer, engineer. I hope this was interesting to at least someone. Now you know my schedule. Again, I don't think that my day is reflective of any other engineer out there. Anyway, with the few I've talked to, I would say mine is pretty atypical, so take it with a grain of salt. Anyway, guys, if you did like this one for some reason, hit the like button or consider subscribing because these are the weird things that I tend to talk about. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I put out another one. I'm Resident Loser Jeremy. I'll see you guys in the next one.